I've been doing cannabis law for a long time, for my entire professional career. I graduated law school, I immediately started working for the Marijuana Policy Project. There was a lot of stigma around marijuana. It had been illegal for approximately 100 years. Folks I was working with were basically dying. It was people with cancer, AIDS. When you look in the eyes of an individual and you hear these stories, you realize it's not just them, there are other people like that, right? And we need to change these policies. And I was fortunate enough to, Vicente Sederberg was a good friend of mine, was able to chat with him about launching this law firm together. And I think that was a crucial moment, not only for getting Vicente Sederberg off the ground, but also was this combination of activism and business law that really sets our firm apart.
I'd been working as a corporate lawyer and developing skills, and then I had this opportunity to work with Brian on something that I was really passionate about. It seemed like an amazing opportunity, particularly to work on legalizing marijuana. We started Vicente Sederberg because we truly cared about cannabis policy and reform.
Our mission was pretty simple. It was, how do we end cannabis prohibition in Colorado, build a law firm around it, and then work to end cannabis prohibition in other states and throughout the country and throughout the world. And so the three of us started a law firm, and I wasn't even an attorney yet.
Vicente Sederberg was formed in 2010, at which time the state was working to establish the country's first regulated marijuana market.
The genesis of the firm was the founders helping create the industry in the first place by writing, lobbying for, and then being successful in helping pass when Colorado's Amendment 64, which created the industry.
Although many states had tried before that, it was the way they approached it and the fact that they understood what was going to resonate with the public and resonate with voters, as well as regulators, quite honestly. That's what really made it work.
I'm really impressed with the business acumen, the legal acumen. It's an amazing team of amazingly smart, eclectic people that refuse to take no for an answer. I mean, these were trailblazers.
Drafting was one of my big roles, trying to bring together as many people as possible to help write the world's first adult-use marijuana law. Ultimately, with a lot of hard work from many people, we were able to make Colorado the first place in the history of the globe to legalize marijuana, and that was an amazing night. There were people in that room that had been in prison for marijuana. There were people crying, there were people laughing, and there was this collective joy. When we legalized marijuana, we made history. It was just an electric moment. So one aspect of Amendment 64 was it also legalized hemp. So when that passed, Colorado became the first state to have essentially a legal hemp regulatory market. Because we wrote that law, we were really at the table to discuss the policies around hemp moving forward.
We've been very engaged in Colorado specifically, which has been kind of the model for hemp programs across the country. There's thousands of uses for hemp. There's still so much we don't know about the plant and haven't understood. Everything from the healing properties of the plant to the environmental uses of the plant. And it's really exciting to think about what we're going to learn in the future.
We've become what was, I think, an important firm in our niche in Colorado to becoming a very important firm in this marijuana law nationwide. We've added on offices in Los Angeles, Boston, Jacksonville, and New York.
We're helping to change those laws across the country, whether or not that's writing new ballot initiatives or also helping to fundraise and make sure that laws get passed.
And so we've gone from a handful of employees to having over 100 employees spread across the nation.
We opened the Boston office in 2013 because we had been involved in drafting the medical marijuana initiative up there and had done some work to promote the passage of that initiative, and we thought it would be a very exciting opportunity because of the fact that it was deeply in the East Coast.
Our law firm has played a major role in advancing legal policy and the law in Massachusetts.
The Yes on 4 campaign was obviously a big accomplishment, and the first real East Coast state to go adult use and to put together a regulated market. And the Barbudo case that we worked on set some precedent for employment rights for medical marijuana patients, was a big accomplishment as well.
The law firm has had a good part in changing the laws and making kind of the criminal justice system a better place, a more just place. And I think everyone shares that passion,
I'm a descendant of slaves. Cotton was the cash crop of our enslavement. And I believe that cannabis and hemp will be the cash crop of our freedom. And I would submit that Vicente Sederberg is a real partner in this issue of diversity, equity, and real inclusion.
They're opening the door. That's what they're helping me with, so I can give back to the community. They believe in my vision, they see it, and they're helping me execute.
I'm really proud of the community we've built, and just bringing this many like-minded people together to push for change is a really powerful thing. So we opened an office in Los Angeles in 2016, and that was a pivotal moment for the law firm. California has 40 million people. It's often been seen as an epicenter of cannabis use, and there were many businesses in need of advice. So we were fortunate enough to connect with Cassia Furman, a brilliant lawyer and a great partner who agreed to move out there and really plant the VS flag.
In California, our focus early on was twofold. One, to support local governments in enacting comprehensive cannabis regulations that supported open licensing and getting as many operators into the legal marketplace, and then also in helping those businesses adjust and adapt to working within a comprehensive regulatory framework. What I'm most proud of are what we've achieved for our clients and the ethos of the firm in putting the client needs first.
I think it's a testament to the partners and the entire team that they had the vision to start in Denver and begin to create and effectuate such incredible change with everything they did starting in 2010, but to have the foresight to begin to look to other state markets.
We're incredibly excited to be a part of the firm and to help them build upon all of the great work they have done for the last decade here in California, across the country, and as far as we can take it.
Vicente Sederberg's reputation in the cannabis industry is unprecedented because this industry requires, I think, an in-depth knowledge of regulation and relationships in that space, the actual nuts and bolts of contract development, and then lastly, insight into where the industry is going.
Vicente Sederberg is really at the forefront of helping resolve many of the challenges that face the industry today.
At VS, we've been able to create a system where we can pass on our knowledge and empower future leaders of this industry.
We have a constant influx of clerks or interns, and they play an important role here.
It's really just a pleasure to work with people who are committed to doing good. The goal of this firm is to do good by society, to advance cannabis and other drug policy.
We have massive breakthroughs happening with psilocybin, and I think there's a lot of unlocked potential. It's exciting.
We still have a ton of work to do to ensure that across the country, states move past their prohibitionist policies, but there's a lot of work to do federally as well, and I look forward to engaging in all of those fights right alongside VS.
I'm excited for what federal legalization might look like. We remain engaged with state and federal policymakers to do what we can to help shape those laws so that we have a successful industry.
We've played a big role in this world-changing policy of ending marijuana prohibition. It was a historical chapter. This is an industry that VS helped found, and it's an industry that we can all be proud of. It's an industry that's contributed to communities, it's produced jobs, it's kept people out of jail.
The firm is definitely poised to play a very strong role in both shaping the future but continuing to represent the best and most responsible players in these new industries that we're creating together.
The last 10 years has been amazing. It's been the greatest privilege and honor of my life. I can't wait for the next 10.